What's up guys, Jace Hadley here with Jace Hadley Music. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the bell icon for more notifications because I promise now I'm going to start being more consistent, especially with these tutorials, but I'll also try to post like other content, reviews, covers, things like that. Now that I have a cohesive schedule, please comment below any suggestions for videos, song tutorials, instrument lessons, anything. Reviews, whatever. Anyways, let's get into this. So, today's video, we're looking over Cage the Elephants. Shocker, another Cage the Elephant song maybe. Ain't No Rest for the Wicked. Easily, I think it's safe to say it's like one of their most popular ones. This one's just ridiculously fun to play at like parties, campfires, things like that, and I'm going to teach you kind of a solo lead version with the slide to get that full main sound people like, but you can add in other instruments if you have other like guitarists and things, you know, just have them hop in. It's pretty simple. Anyways, so this, yes, we're using a slide guitar, or we're using a slide on guitar. That means we do have to tune it to open G, and this was the first slide guitar song I ever learned, so if you don't already know how to play slide guitar but you happen to have a slide, I might be able to help walk you through it, although it also wouldn't hurt to just watch like one or two slide guitar tutorials on YouTube. I'll try to make a video on it soon too, but generally, so what, I guess let's start with this. We have open G, which whenever you play a song on guitar involving a slide, you 99% of the time are tuning it to something else, and that's because the slide's kind of like a bar, so you want to be able to play chords with it, and you know, an open standard tuning is not it's technically a chord, but not a cohesive chord, not one you generally use a lot. Anyways, so this is open G. It's probably the most common tuning for slide guitar, and the second or third most common just general retuning for guitar. So a G chord, as you know, is made of 3 notes. You have the G as the first, you have the B as the third, and you have the D as the 5th. So you only need those 3 notes on this, which means you only have to change 3 of the strings, because as you know, you have a D string, a G string, and a B string. Those are all in the chords, you can leave those as is. However, this low E string, most of the time, unless you have a really good guitar, a really well built one, this one's not that well built, it's good and loud, easy to use. You usually only want to tune down strings for the most part. Tuning up gets a little risky just depending on the guitar. You can snap a string pretty easy once you tune up too high. So I generally, whenever I need to figure out a way to retune use a different tuning on the guitar, I try to, as much as possible, find ways to tune down, which open G is pretty easy to do that with. All you have to do is take this low E string and tune it to a D natural, which means you have to tune it down 2 half steps or 1 whole step. I recommend grabbing a tuner, it just helps you be more precise, makes it a little easier. And then this A string, you tune down to a G, and you tune it down the same distance, 2 half steps or 1 whole step. The next 3 strings you can leave the same. However, from tuning down the other strings, usually the strings, even if you're not directly touching them, most of the time they're going to go sharp a little bit, unless you have a weird guitar that makes them go flat a little bit. Either way, you might have to readjust them just a tad bit, but you don't have to change their general note. And then that just leaves the high E string, which, just like the low E string, you just tune down to a D. So that gives a really nice solid open sound. It just sounds really beautiful like this. Now let's talk about using a slide. I have a glass slide on, which might be hard to see, but yes, this is a slide. And glass slides are generally received as the just best, like tone-wise and things like that. However, there are metal slides, which this one's pretty tight on my finger. Actually, I might need to get a bigger metal slide next time I shop, but you can get that sound with that. And what most guitarists prefer, including myself, is the sound from the glass one. It's just a little bit brighter and things like that. But for this song, it doesn't matter that much because you do use the slide pretty heavy. You just have a really heavy tone with it, so the metal slide also works just fine for this song. I'm going to stick to the glass. This song, we're doing this on an acoustic guitar. You can do it on electric like this, but generally it works great on acoustic. I do not have one, although it's probably on my next shopping spree, would be a Resonator guitar, which is one of the like guitars with that like metal can in it that has that really loud sound. Those work excellent with slides, and that would work perfect on this song. So if you have one of those, I'd use that for this song. Anyways, so with the slide, I wouldn't call this the traditional way of using it, but it's the modern way of using it, is having it on your ring finger. Just fits right like that. And you want to, it's a similar concept to using bar chords. You want to hit all the notes across. And another important factor to look at is, normally when you play like a note or chord on guitar, you want your finger to land like right above the fret to give you the best tone. With a slide, you want it directly on top. It needs to be directly on top. If it's slightly above, it's just, it's not terrible, but it's just not the sound you want to get with a slide. The optimal sound 100% of the time with a slide is right above the fret. So work on doing that. Like I said, there's other guitar lessons on YouTube that probably teach that way better than me. Anyways, so with this, that's the first part we'll learn here. It's pretty easy. It's all you have to do is land this big open chord, beautiful sound like I said, and hammer on fairly aggressively on right above that third, or right on top of that third fret with the slide, and then strum back up once you take it off. You want that really heavy aggressive sound for just the best tone for this song. Then the second part is, well, you repeat that. So you, but then after that second time of doing that, you'll slide from the third to the fifth. And remember, keep it right on top of that fret, not above it, but right on top of it, covering it. Pull off and do an open down strum. So it's once again. So with that slide, when that slide up to the fifth, you just, that's how you really get that classic recognizable sound that this song has. Alright, so after that, do that hammer on again, that just on the third, and then after that one, you'll just repeat twice on a, keeping it on that third fret. So in total, it's so a lot of that third fret action. You have that one slide up to that fifth fret, and then just a lot of open strumming. Make sure with those hammer-ons you're fairly aggressive with it. You want that sound to resonate out. So that covers that intro, and you can do that little lick throughout different instrumentals of the song. It's just very recognizable. People really get into it when you're doing this at like a party or just out on the streets or something like that. Really fun to do. For the verses, you don't use the slide at all unless you want to add little licks in, which you cannot to do. That's all you're doing for the verse here. And how that works is you're playing bar chords, and for these bar chords, you're actually only doing 3 strings at once. And you only have a few to look through. The first one's open, which means it's playing a G, but you only need to get from the A string, the D string, and the G string. Although it doesn't hurt to get the whole thing, honestly, because it is a G string chord regardless. But to keep it more consistent, just try to maintain those. Don't hit that lowest E string for the full. I would generally just... The next one is you're barring across the third here, but starting on that A string. And that gives us a B flat chord. So above the fifth here, but still on that A string. And then a quick walk down with that one across the third from the fifth, then, or from the third on the A string, then do one from the third on the E string. And that's all it is. That's throughout all the verses, and it's pretty staccato. You want to get that kind of like. It's important to have the empty spaces in between. Although you can kind of like. I don't even know what to call this. Just kind of like I hit the side of my palm, just kind of on the strings while it's muted. Kind of adds a little bit of a pulse, especially if you're playing alone. It just really builds a pulse and helps the song feel more full, even if you're the only one playing. So that's throughout all of the verses. That's consistent. And then the chorus is. This is pretty fun to do. You'll start the slide up on the third, slide all the way to the 12th to give you the G chord again, but a lot higher. So it's right on top of that fret for the best sound. And then you come back down and go from the 3rd to the 5th, but still the same concept of sliding. So it's... between each, kind of after each chorus, you can add in the same thing you did at the intro, just to kind of add more flavor to the song. Admittedly, the verses are fine to do it with. The chorus, at least for me personally, can get somewhat tricky to sing and play at the same time. Not as bad as like Do I Wanna Know or something like that, but it's not super easy to sing the chorus and play at the same time. So it does help to have groups around, but you can practice it on your own, of course, too. Hope this lesson helps. Sorry I had to rush with this one. Hope you enjoyed, and please don't forget to like and subscribe, and comment down any more video suggestions you have. I'll try to keep pumping out more content more consistently soon. Thanks for watching. This is Jace Hadley Music.